I just don't like to look stupid, and that's where we are at that point. And I don't want y'all to look stupid.
No,
It could get to that point.
Yeah.
Well, especially with this where, you know, I'm just
keep that town silly.
Is Jerry here today? Call to order the March 11th, 2024 Stormwater meeting to order. Can I get a roll call from Dina?
Mr. Barnes.
Here.
Mr. Christensen.
Here.
Mr. Herman.
Here.
Mr. Manfredi.
Here.
Mr. Taylor.
Here.
Alderman Wall. Mr. Clark.
Here. I make a motion if we have reviewed the agenda, make a motion to adopt the agenda.
You make the motion or you entertain it?
I'm calling for a motion. I entertain a motion.
So made.
But I could make the motion as chairman. Can I get a second?
Second.
Approved. Alright. Can I get approval of the December 11th, 2023 meeting minutes if we have reviewed those? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So moved. Reports. Guess I need a motion to get the approval of reports.
Alright, Congress, that's my turn now.
Not yet.
You're new business.
Oh, I'm in business?
Yeah.
Make a motion.
Can I get a second?
Oh,
Second.
Alright, new business items, current stormwater project. Turn it over to you, Mr. Hush.
thank you, Mr. Caesar. We'll start off here. Can everybody see this? Yeah, they can see it. Alright, so today's March 11th, 2024 meeting, Stormwater Advisory Board. Topics, the usual topics, the MS4 permit update. I got a 2024-25 outlook, just looking ahead a little bit. Our public outreach for the past 3 months. An update on the capital improvement project. Some of the projects that the stormwater team out there in the audience has been working on over the past 3 months, and some of the concerns that are lingering out there a little bit. So we'll just jump right into the MS4. It's been 5 years since the ERU evaluation has been done, so by ordinance we're required to review that again. That, as you'll see later, has been budgeted for. We're still discussing the scope and the methodology, but that is upcoming for the next budget period. Also is the monitoring requirements for the MS4 permit. I'm in discussion with TDEC and some other MS4s about their monitoring programs and everything that's involved, and some locations that would be optimal for monitoring the waters that leave our MS4.
On the 5-year review of the evaluation of ERUs, what all goes into that?
I'm still trying to get a scope on that.
Because we do all the revenues in our department, so and we do that every year. So I don't know why it would have not been. It hasn't changed in several years, but we do review it every year.
Okay. By ordinance, it just had a 5-year review, so I figured we probably ought to say something formally about it.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do it at the next meeting. How about I'll make sure to meet with you about that.
Okay.
Before the next meeting.
Before the next stormwater
advisory board meeting. Yeah, so we can update on that.
So that'd be July.
I did put some money. I did set aside money.
June. June, yeah,
Yeah.
we should know something good by then.
I did talk to some outside vendors about how what their process is, and some costs associated with it. So we do have some items in the budget for next year. We did set aside monies for that, if necessary. So, and again, that and the monitoring requirements, I'm both kind of in the.
What's the cost you're talking about?
Just for any, you know, if an outside vendor was to collect data and evaluate it, I just talked.
You're talking about revenue data?
It's just analyzing the properties and seeing if our equivalent residential units are still within boundaries and what the monies are. And
Well, here's how that typically works, and this is the same way with enterprise funds. The general fund is we come up with how much money we need to operate, so that we can get projects done, we can pay employees, we can pay utilities, we can pay debt. The stormwater doesn't have any debt, but so we do that first, and then we work our way into the revenues and make sure that it's sufficient to cover the revenues, and that we can build, if we need to build our fund balance, we can build our fund balance as well. So I'm sure there's companies that would love us to pay them to do that, but I'm not sure that's something that we should do.
Yeah, I think a few years ago, when we did change the rate one other time, only once since I've been here, since we started this program. And that's what Jason is saying is correct. What we need to do is figure out what's it gonna cost us to operate, and then make sure we have enough money coming in from the ERUs. If we have to adjust the ERU rate to make up the difference, then that's what we'll do, kinda like we did with sanitation. We realized we've been falling behind, our fund balance is going down, so we had to adjust up the rate of garbage collection in order for us to be able to pay that bill without having to use general fund money. So that's really what we're after. So when you look at your expenditures this year, you need to look at, okay, how much money is coming in from the total ERUs that we have. I suppose there's a total ERU number that you probably have. Once you have that total, then you're like, okay, it looks like we're gonna be okay. We're still able to put more money into our fund balance, or we need to we could reduce it. If our fund balance is 100% or whatever, maybe we should look at reducing the rate, or we increase it if it's not going to be enough. So I like the reduction side. It's always better than the adding more to it. But at least we need to look at that. But it's been a while since I think we've actually taken a look at that in that regard. But that would be a simple formula for you to do. Just look at your expenditures, divide by the number of ERUs, and if it looks like, oh, no, you don't have enough money coming in, then I'm going to have to ask for an increase. And then I'll have to present that to the board, or keep it the same or decrease. So that's what we do. So we really don't need an outside consultant to help you with that.
Okay, good.
I mean, Jason could help you with those numbers if you need some help with that.
Well, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, it just in the ordinance said it was a 5-year review, so I wasn't
make sure.
And there was a report, I think, the last time from some outside consultant. Maybe
we should be almost doing it every year, really. I think it should be an annual review, but because we do that with our wastewater, I mean, we kind of know, but every once in a while, a study can't hurt to see are we in line with what we're doing. But I think we can make this fairly simple.
Okay, great. No, that'd be great.
It's complicated for you.
I'll get with you, Jason, about that, and we'll talk about that, and I can draft up some formal report on our discussions and what we decided and where we're going to leave it and how we're going to deal with it, and just keep that as documentation that it was reviewed.
Okay.
Another thing we're looking at is education and participation is one of the minimum control measures required by the MS4 permit. The public outreach, we're way ahead of the curve. We do a lot of public outreach, both participation and education, because they do distinguish between those two. So we're well ahead with the general public, but they also differentiate with professionals, which is like engineers and developers. And one thing I'm looking at is trying to get with some of the HOAs in town, talking about their long-term maintenance agreements and plans. So, that's one of the things I'm working on, to try to get some of these HOAs up to speed on what their requirements are long-term with the stormwater systems in their neighborhoods. And so that'll help meet those goals. Additionally, permit review with EnerGov, there's some ongoing discussion there about the review and of permit applications. Inspections, we've done 645 inspections between 2 inspectors in the past 3 months, so they're averaging about 215 inspections a month. And long-term maintenance agreements, I've probably brought in 8 long-term maintenance agreements in the past month or 2. I think we just recently did 3 of them in the past couple of weeks, so they are coming in. We are staying on top of them. That is a requirement for their final. We're getting those in place. The 2024 outlook, public services building, we were talking about that. Building to get some of this equipment inside. You see, we're getting there, Chris. We're getting there. Get some of this equipment out of the weather and underneath the roof, and keep it dry and keep it in good condition. The Apache Trail carryover, unfortunately, they can't move the water line and set the last 2 box culverts until June 1st, and that gives them 30 days to try and move a water line, and there's testing requirements with that, and set 2 box culverts, so it's 30 days is pushing it. It'll probably carry over into the new budget year. The 5-year ERU we just talked about, along with the monitoring stations. I'm talking with TDEC and other places about that. The crude truck is a necessity. We found out with the snow, the dually gets a snow plow on it, and so when we're really short-handed when we have the snow plow set up for the winter. So that's something that we really, really need. And the inspector was in the Explorer, and that's not a good truck for that. So we were playing musical trucks for a little while, and so that's a kind of a dire need that we have. Personnel, Lower Max training. As you can see, Mr. Chris Keith there out in the audience, he's coming up on his retirement in September, I believe, is it, Chris? Yes. He'll be leaving us after 30 years of service, and we're sure going to miss you. So that leads into the Lower Max training, because Chris is one of our authorized operators on the Lower Max, and so we're going to have to get a few other people trained before he leaves to make sure we get that quality operations that we get from Chris. So we'll miss you, Chris. Public outreach, tree giveaway on the right there comes up this next Saturday. I'm picking up the trees on Friday. We've got 400 trees. There was an article in Word on White House. We got like 11 different varieties. I wasn't here for it last year, but apparently it was very popular. So we'll have those ready to go at the municipal park on Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Cleanup day is April 6th. We're currently in meetings with that, similar to what we did last year. We're talking about what was it, the fire station, I think, and where did we say? Chamber of Commerce is a meeting place.
Possibly.
Possibly. We're working on that. We just had our first Zoom meeting last week on that, so we're working on that. Probably very similar to last year as far as areas that they'll be working on. And the Urban 5K, Sumner County reached out. They really appreciated our side-by-side last year, hauling water coolers around, and it was very helpful for them that we brought that down. So they need us again, so we're happy to help. Capital improvement, Apache Trail, the stream work's on hold till June 1st, talked about that already a little bit. The water line conflict that once June 1st gets here, they can move that and then set the 2 boxes, and then we still have some paving. We do have the road open. There is 1 lane. We have some traffic control there, and some signs up telling people that it's a 1-lane road. But you can see in that little picture you can see on that picture on the side over there that when that opened up, and that doesn't go on the screen, does it? when that got opened up, the traffic come pouring through there. People were waiting for it, so we left it open. You can see in the picture the sidewalk got poured a little high. There's going to be some corrections there. They're going to bring the sidewalk down, and on the picture on the left, you can see how they poured a wing wall instead of a retaining wall, so you can see how the handrail dips down. Gets a little bit too low on the left side of that picture, so they're going to have to build that wall back up to the same height as the right side there, and that'll allow them to move it over and make it fit the way it's supposed to. So that work can be done anytime. Covenant's already working on that. That's already in the works to get that work done. So they should be repairing that stuff soon.
So they got an idea what they need to do to fix that?
They do. They have to build up that left side and just get it up taller, and then bring that sidewalk down a little bit.
Okay.
So
the sidewalk is going up to the far right corner there?
In the far right corner, bottom right there,
Okay.
you can see how it really kind of jumps up on his yard, and they filled it.
Okay.
So the curb's a little big, so they're going to do some adjustments on that. So between bringing that down and raising that wing wall, or that retaining wall, that should line everything back up real good.
Okay.
So we're watching them on that one. Maintenance for the past 3 months. Union Road on the left there. That was after the snow melt and a big rain. The water came down real hard and fast right down there at Union Road, right pretty close to 76. You can see in the middle pictures there on the left where it washed out the road and had a little part of the road sloughing off, the shoulder was sloughing off. And we sent, at night we went in and put up some signs just for precautionary reasons, and the next morning our team got out there and just started digging into it. We did some stream work where we kind of pushed the stream back away from the road a little bit and cleaned it up and opened it up so it would flow a little bit better. And then with that material, they pulled it back across, kind of rebuilt that shoulder, and worked real hard on that for 2 days. Turned out real good. Everything's nice and stable, growing in. Everything's flowing real good there. So kudos to you guys out there. You did a good job on that. Snow plowing, we all remember that. I'm trying to forget. Oof. But that was a good 2 or 3 weeks of just salt and plow. All things, the city did a great job, you guys. The city was much better off in my drive from Hendersonville. These roads were the best, much better than Hendersonville. So you guys did a great job on that. Callista Road, they're getting ready to do a paving project there. I guess we got some asphalt we're going to do there. So Isaiah suggested that we get that swale work done there and get that ditch and that stormwater under control before they get in there and put some new asphalt down. So the guys got in there and did a good job, cleaned up that swale real nice, and that ditch will be good. Now they can pave the road and not have to do any adjustments after the fact. Meadowlark Drive, that's where we closed that off to the access on 31W. So they took that lane out there, seeded everything, changed up the signs, just recently.
Did you remove the stop sign coming in already?
Yep,
Oh, good.
we
I'll
just
check
did that, I think last week, we got all the signs changed up so that they can.
Is that right, Ed? Last Thursday?
We did Thursday,
Mm-hmm.
and they got pulled down, stop sign, and that turn sign got put in.
Now the traffic from 31W can come straight in without stopping.
The traffic going out Meadowlark, they're making a turn and not still trying to go straight through. Has there been any problem with that yet?
I think there's a dead end sign there.
Okay, hasn't been run over yet?
They still have a stop sign just for precautionary.
Okay, yeah.
But I think we put a left turn only.
So it's actually there's a driveway, right? I mean, the road continues to the two houses there.
There are two driveways, yeah. There are some driveways.
And those people they're okay with what we've done so far, as far as you know?
I haven't heard.
Ain't been nobody stopping and complaining about it.
Okay.
We kind of wave at us,
Yeah.
let it do it, and
Yeah.
kept going.
Okay.
We left out the barricades just a little longer, it's
Oh.
good to keep, grass is growing good.
Okay, good.
So we'll mitigate that as it goes.
Yeah.
Start pulling that stuff out of there,
Uh,
give them more time to get adjusted to it.
oh, good. We hit them with early education. We asked them about it early on, so I think that was probably helpful,
Absolutely.
you know. Okay.
I don't think you're gonna hear any complaints out of anybody over there because of the speed that cars were traveling going in and off.
Yeah, that's
onto
true.
and off of 31W.
Okay, yeah. All right, good.
So yeah, it looks good. 317 Pantana, that's right next to Doors Farm, phase 2. You can see where their illicit discharge was dumping out onto their neighboring property, flowing down through their side yard there and underneath their shed. They did not have, we spoke with Doors Farms, they didn't have their infrastructure in place and they had a blowout. So they went in there and basically built that berm up just to make sure that all that water stays on their project. That's their water to deal with. So ever since they built that berm at the end of the road there hasn't been any discharge onto their property. So Highland Drive was a tree that fell over and broke the concrete flume there. The homeowners removed all the trees and brush in there, and after the fact, our guys went in and patched up the concrete. Did a good job. It looks real nice and smooth, and got that all repaired. Some of the ongoing drainage concerns, 219 Hobbs, that's pretty much gone away now. I included it because we did, you can see on the left side there where the water's coming out of Cope's Crossing. The person that made the complaint initially had some fill and some fence questions, none of which was the developer's concern. So they're satisfied that the developer or the city doesn't have to do anything. There's a drainage easement there. The property where the truck is, you can see he's got standing water there. We did go in and mitigate all of that. The guys went in and cut that ditch through that you can see in the bottom picture. So now all that flows real good, and that's exactly where it's supposed to go, right through the drainage easement. And now it's not backing up next to his driveway anymore. So that's all flowing good. Hillwood, still I actually have a meeting tomorrow with the mill and Ms. Wilkinson about that swale that you're looking at in the top two pictures. The one on the right was before we did any mitigation. So the one on the left is after we cut a little ditch in there, and it's been flowing real good, confined right to that area. So nothing's getting to the house anymore, and that's all draining real good. Just a couple of mud issues, a little leaking pipes issues with the outfall, which we're going to finish addressing those tomorrow. Callista Pond, we all know about Callista Pond, just nowhere to go. We did pump it in January a couple of times, just to bring it down. There was some concern from the homeowner, so I think we only did that for a day, just the water levels came down and there wasn't any, it stayed down and didn't come back up, so it's getting some percolation, but long term, that's an area that's to need, have to be looked at for a long-term solution. And then Callista Road, Collins Crossing, still waiting on the contractor to do the swale repairs and adjustments that need to be done out there, and to install the outfall structure. So I touched base with them about 2 weeks ago. They said weather was their delays, so I've reached out again and haven't heard back yet, but I'm pretty much contacting them weekly to try to get some movement on that.
Good.
So, and that's about it.
And did you want to mention the conference, workshop you went to?
Oh, yes, absolutely, yeah. It was a floodplain, stormwater floodplain confluence conference, how floodplains and stormwater regulations overlap, and great conference. There is a lot of overlap and a lot of regulation that both stormwater and floodplain managers have to look at. It, it's very similar problems. Floodplain more on the planning, long-term sort of, but in stormwater more on the sort of immediate needs and issues. But great conference, a lot of positive feedback, a lot of attendance, and they're looking forward to doing some more of those.
So I serve as the city's floodplain manager, but I keep stormwater abreast of everything. So
yeah.
we have such a small sliver of floodplain, but we still try to stay on top of it. So.
Yeah, the watershed discussions and everything were very beneficial, as far as how the flows impact stormwater areas and certain areas, the problem areas and things like that, and how, if you can look at it as a watershed, as a big picture, you can solve a lot of problems. So it was really good conference. I enjoyed it.
That's good stuff. All right, we have any other business? Seeing we have no other business, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.